false priest Franz Rothmar had made his true identity known, Willard thought of executing the servant of chaos, but instead had him imprisoned whilst he contemplated his next move. Unsure of what mischief the cultist might be capable, Willard had set a guard of 200 men to watch the prisoner day and night. After taking some time to think, he ordered the guards to deliver him the prisoner. I am pleased to speak with you again. I hope you have had a chance to consider my words when we last spoke. To avoid a panic, I have chosen to keep your secret hidden for now. For all anyone else knows, you are accused of spying for Wisenland. My lieutenants, however, know the truth. Crispin has urged me to head for Marienburg immediately and deliver you to the mercy of the Stadtholder. Gesunda says we should just be done with you. An eager servant as ever, he has even offered to crush your skull himself. I see. And which road will you walk down? I have heard tales of the gods of chaos, as has every man. I know well enough your master would offer me nothing without receiving double in exchange. I will not be coy. A crown is tempting, but I fear the price would be too great for me to repay. The meek and ignorant spin all kinds of tales. When the truth is too great for them to comprehend, they turn to hysteria. The Lord of Change is not so predictable as that. His plans are his own, and his intentions understood by none but him. That is true even for his most loyal of servants. But I do know one thing for certain. My master does not engage in petty usury. If he wishes to see you forge the crown of Ostland and place it upon your own brow, then, by enacting his will, you have paid him back 1,000-fold. And what of Marienburg and Van der Kuipers? If I were to do as you ask, the capital would descend on me with all their might, which I would be unable to withstand. I would not be so sure. Spears and horses and gunpowder are of no worry to a god. Faith, my king, that is all that is required of you. Put your faith in Siege, and he will see your endeavours are not in vain. Your struggle is his struggle, and he will lend you his aid. You know so little of this god you serve, and you would have me gamble my life on faith. That is why they call it faith. You could dispose of me in 1,000 ways if you wished, and the result would be the same. You might maintain your command if you're lucky, but you would always be remembered as the unremarkable Van Noort brother. That is, if you are remembered at all. But a small step of faith, a simple extending of the hand, and you will have a kingdom. And soon enough that kingdom would become an empire, and all the beings of the world would bow to you. You mean they would bow to chaos? Did Sigmar not worship Ulrich? Kings and emperors must also serve, such is the curse of mortal men. But why not choose to be as close to godliness as you can? The Empire of Man had fallen, and mankind now inherited a new destiny. The Count of Sturland wisely chose to not swim against the tide, and submitted to Marienburg. Once again, jubilation erupted throughout the city. The Stadtholder had fulfilled his promise to the people, and the greatest city of the world had assumed its rightful place as the capital of all mankind. But the work was not quite done. Outside Wisenberg, Michael Tromsoon had been caught off guard whilst laying siege to the city, as the forces of Wisenland made one last desperate push to save their lands. The fledgling general put up a valiant fight, but ultimately he could not withstand the onslaught, and his military career, as well as his life, was soon brought to an abrupt end. Hochland had been liberated, and Aldebrand Ludenhof could now turn his focus to enacting his vengeance upon the Fecundites. He made first for the board fortress of Castle Angst that straddled the crossing between Hochland and Ostland. The castle was found completely undefended and was occupied.
Yes?
Aldebrand now had a base of operations from which he could march through the Middle Mountains and root out the armies of chaos.
Ulrich's will!
Erasmus arrived at the gates of the Ostland provincial capital Wolfenburg and laid siege. Soon after, the other commanders of the Commonwealth marched on what remained of the Bone Rattler's Greenskin Empire.
To arms! Yes, a sound plan.
We're there!
Christian van Noort moved on the ruins of Zutsen, after receiving reports that the ruins might not be as uninhabited as they appear. His suspicions were correct, and a small host of Skaven were rooted out of the ashes, and Christian established control of the region. The conquest of Nuln was nearing completion, with only the Halbinsel district still holding out. Johann Toppenheimer made his final push, crossing the river and seizing control of the city in its entirety.
Fight for our nation!
Christian continued to push on and marched on the ruins of Wiedebach. To no great surprise, his forces uncovered even more Skaven lurking in the ruins, and they too were rooted out and exterminated.
Keep the pace!
With victory over the Bone Rattlers all but secured, Boris crossed the Reich and moved to assist Christian van Noort in his campaign against the Skaven.
To strengthen the Empire!
Aldebrand began his push into the Middle Mountains at a careful pace. The chaos-tainted cliffs would prove perilous to his men if proper caution was not taken, and he would need all his men if he hoped to secure victory.
War calls!
Willard continued south and moved on the town of Lübeck. The ram was constructed, and Erasmus was now ready to make his move and seize Wolfenburg. Greenskins had made little effort to secure the walls. The true fight of the siege would be the battle for the gatehouse. Erasmus used his aerial and ranged advantage to move swiftly about the city and distract the greenskins before they could send reinforcements to the gatehouse. The men had managed to push through and split their forces to tackle the various pockets of greenskin defenders scattered throughout the city.
Now we strike! Forward, man!
It will be done!
By dividing their own ranks, the greenskins had made the siege much easier than it should be, and soon enough the soldiers of Marienburg were chasing the enemy from the city.
Die, greenskin scum!
War calls!
Willart arrived at Lubrecht and seized control of the town. The war against the Bone Rattlers was almost won. Erasmus had little time to celebrate his latest victory, as a greenskin war had been spotted perilously close to Gryden. He force-marched the men south to deal with the threat.
It is war!
Only 3 cities yet remained under Wisenland control. Johann departed from Nuln and seized control of Rohrhausen. Wisenberg was now surrounded and ready to fall. Just north of Flensburg, a foul servant of Tzeentch, the Changeling, had been sighted raiding the land. The Count of Sturland, Alberic Hoptanderson, marshalled his forces and moved to the town to see off this agent of chaos. Boris pursued the Skaven through the destroyed province of Talabakland. The rat men moved towards the ruins of Kapelberg, with Boris Todbringer snapping at their heels. In the Middle Mountains, Aldebrand Ludenhof had come under attack from the Feckendites, who sought to turn the war back in their favour. It was for this very reason that Aldebrand had marched carefully through the mountains, and his numbers remained intact. The cavalry advanced and baited the enemy forward, drawing them in range of the Hellfire battery.
Foes of the Emperor! Let us show our hammer!
Aldebrand had assumed an advantageous defensive position, and his strategy was reliant on drawing the enemy to engage.
Ludwig around the flank! faster!
Sigmar demands blood!
Come, lads! This was not meant to be! Don't give them an inch!
The flanks on either side received charge after charge from the Nurglite heavy cavalry, but held their formation, cutting down the enemy numbers a little more with each assault. After a close fight, the soldiers of Hochland emerged the victors, and the cultists fled into the mountains. Though victory was secured for now, Aldebrand's forces had taken heavy casualties in the fighting. He would need to proceed with caution if his efforts were not to be in vain. The time had come to deliver the final humiliation to Wisenland. Johann Toppenheimer marched on Wisenberg and laid siege, whilst Christian van Noort moved on Leisk and secured the town.
We march!
In Hochland, Erasmus was relieved to find that the Greenskins had hesitated before marching on Greigen, but he was able to garrison the town before it was once again brought to ruin.
Yes, a sound plan.
Aldebrand Ludenhof pursued what remained of the Feckendyke forces and soundly crushed them. He could now march in the former dwarven realm, Karaz van Zool.
Attack!
Having a place of refuge in the hostile mountains would prove invaluable, as his forces prepared for the final push on the Brass Keep.
Fight for our nation! Onwards!
Boris Todbringer at last reached the ruins of Kapelberg. The Skaven were forced to abandon their tactics of constant retreat, and the battle begun.
Flee, I brave, mighty. We do this to protect our lands.
As the Skaven waited for reinforcements to arrive, packs of panrats dug hidden tunnels beneath Boris's line and harassed his forces with sudden guerrilla attacks.
I'll die on this field!
The Skaven reinforcements finally arrived, and the Vermintide lurched forward.
They flee! We run! Smell musketeer! Take that foe! Charging! Don't squirm!
Lars Heidenreich soared over the Skaven line and harassed the enemy catapults before they could decimate the line.
Should we run? Flee! They flee! We run! Smell!
Boris did much the same, taking aim at the Ratmen wizard.
Should we run? Fight then! Fight for our right to live! Look out! They squirt fear muff! Men of Sigmar, do your duty! Make blood! Should we run, please? Destroy it! None flee! We run! Smash them aside! They sweat, yet must. Brace yourselves! Should we run, please? They flee! We run! Look, see, they run! Should we run, please? I foresee their deaths! Travelers! Slayers! Make me proud of the province!
The Skaven command fled, and the remainder of their host followed soon after.
Get to the enemy!
Aldebrand took some time to recuperate in Karaz Gumzul. but he could not linger for long. Revenge was calling to him, and the armies of Hochland carefully made their way to the final battle against the Leech Lord.
Yes, a sound plan.
Keep the pace!
Christian moved on Wurbad, expecting to find it crawling with ratmen. But to his surprise, the town was abandoned, allowing the Marienburg forces to move in unopposed and assume control of the town.
It is for the best. Attack!
Alberic Hupt Anderson had marched his forces across the length of the province and was now within striking distance of the Changeling. Launching an attack would also draw the ire of the Slaughterhorn tribe that had allied itself to the armies of Tzeentch, but the unchecked raiding upon his lands could not go unchecked any longer. The armies of Tzeentch were an unknown element to the forces of the Commonwealth, who knew not what to expect. As such, her defensive position was assumed atop a hill, as the garrison at Flensburg moved to catch up. To the left of the army, the missile cavalry units lay in wait, concealed by the woodland. After what felt like an eternity, the garrison reinforcements arrived on the field.
Ready, men! Ready to deal out blood for all mankind! Remember, men! Set the marks on our line!
The mortar fire worked as intended, and the enemy moved forward. Missile cavalry revealed themselves and harassed the cockatrice with pistol fire, retreating whenever the beast got too close. The tides returned as the horrors unleashed their magical missiles on the Sterland line. The soldiers of mankind were now the ones forced to advance forward.
Brace yourselves! I foresee their deaths! Enemy wizard spotted!
The left flank had broken through and could now wrap around the enemy ranks.
Blood of our heirs!
The magic of Tzeentch failed, and the demons returned to the realm of the sorcerer. The curtain was falling on Wisenberg. Johann Toppenheimer needed to make just one final push and seize the city of Wisenberg. Dolph Hasselhoff had pored over the arcane tome and awoken a newer magical ability. The terrified defenders scrambled to defend themselves from the manticore now running rampant behind the walls.
War calls! Do not trust wizards! Cast magic against them! Start the shout! It will be done! Beware the wizard! peasants! By the gods! They are using dark forces against the enemy!
He's pushing up something good! We're doing a spell!
The gods are abandoned us!
The ogres had been put on a diet and would have to make do with the snack-sized humans.
As long as we outnumber them, we will hold! Now we strike! Forward! As long as we draw back, they will die!
By the ancestors, I'll have...
They are wavering! Fight for our right to live! Now we strike! Forward, man! They are wavering! Wise counsel!
The defenders were quickly overwhelmed and retreated. Some remnant forces of Wisenberg remained. They would need to consolidate their forces and find a suitable home to occupy quickly, or their numbers would continue to dwindle. The war finally moved on Gryden, but they would now have to face a much larger enemy, with Erasmus garrisoning the town with his army. Greenskins were hesitant to advance. The Sword of Soken spurred his man forward to offer the enemy some encouragement. The greenskin shaman would surely prove the largest threat. Erasmus moved to tackle the enemy commander head-on.
Don't give them an inch! To battle! Enemy wizard spotted! We will kill them all!
With monstrous infantry, war wagons and boar riders, the greenskins had brought many hard-hitting units to bear, but the soldiers of Marienburg held the line.
They must all die! Keep your heads down! They're casting smoke!
The war was turned back, and the greenskins fled the field. Erasmus pushed the advantage and moved from Gryden to finish off what remained of the war.
For Heldenhammer! Attack!
He then continued across the Kapelberg and marched on Talabheim. Capturing the city was essential to legitimizing Marienburg's claim over Talabheim. Upon reaching the city, Erasmus began siege work, but soon decided an immediate assault would be more prudent, and his soldiers secured the city.
Let us move!
Johann made haste for Stirland, where the beastmen of the Slaughterhorn tribe were bearing down on the province.
Hunt them down!
Christian also took the wall to the beastmen and marched on the occupied town of Asina.
Easy targets!
Boris continued his push against the Skaven, marching on Hazelhoff and rooting out the Ratmen.
Sigmar compels us!
The Dark Lady of Nuln made a brave last stand against the dwarves of Bugman's Brewery, though they never stood much of a chance. The armies of Wisenland were smashed in their entirety. The beastmen launched an assault upon the walls of Werden. The defending garrison was equipped well enough to fend off the assault, and the city was safe.
Here they are!
Christian completed his march and claimed Orsino. The war against the beastmen was brought to a swift and decisive end. Meanwhile, Erasmus van Noort and Boris Todbringer launched their attacks on the final Skaven refuges.
To battle!
The final battle was upon them. Hildebrand Ludendorff readied the men, and they made their way to the decrepit walls of the Brass Keep.
It is war!
I must see their death! Seething fire! Take up your positions! Walls of iron and glass! is might! Sigmar fights with us this day! We best be paid in real gold crown for this! Get up there! Keep clear! You can die when we have the walls! Destroy it! Sigma demand! We will hold! Don't give it! Now we strike! Forward, men! Smash them aside! Ah! Fight! Battle! Let's have you! Don't stop until they're all dead! Time for fighting! Sigma went north to kill the creatures of chaos, as we must!
Such unholy resilience!
Come then, scum! I have Unberoggan blood in my veins!
The brass keep had fallen, and the cultists driven from the lands. The Fecundites would bother the people of Hochland no more, and Aldebrand Ludenhof had satisfied his need for revenge. Erasmus received a letter from the stadtholder, ordering him to return to the capital with haste, and to bring his army with him. Erasmus did as ordered, and marched to Marienburg. As he awaited permission to bring his army into the city, the stadtholder rode out of the gates to meet him. Lord Stadtholder, the soldiers of Marienburg are here as requested, and are yours to command. Lord Commandant, I am pleased you have made it home in good time. I wonder, have you received any word from your brother? Christian writes me often. I never thought him much a military man, but his achievements in the field have proved me wrong. No, the other brother, Willart, have you heard from him? Willart and I parted ways after defeating the Siren. I have not heard from him since. He cares little to keep in touch. Well, he is a king now. I suppose he has been rather busy. Is this a joke I am not privy to? What is it Willart would be king of? Ostland, or so he would claim. I do not know what folly has taken hold of him, but he sent word to me personally declaring his secession, and vowed to destroy any host I sent to his new kingdom. With respect, Lord Stadtholder, I cannot believe this is true. Willart is young and brash, but he's no fool. Even if he were bold enough to rebel against you, he still is intelligent enough to know it would be the end of him. I hope you're right. I have sent officials to Wolfenburg to learn the truth of the matter, but they have not returned. I remain hopeful that there is a reasonable explanation, and so I have summoned you. We will go to Ostland together and speak with Lord Willard. If his treachery is genuine, then as Lord Commandant I expect you to dispense justice, as you would with any other man. I grant you leave to enter the city with your army. Your men deserve the opportunity to rest a while, but soon we shall depart for Ostland, and to war if necessary. Men are in good form, my king. Good. Find Crispin and tell him to take command of the left flank. I'm afraid if you wish to speak with Crispin van Hagen, you shall have to look over there. He slipped away from camp last night with the dwarf, and now stands in your brother's ranks. I should have expected such. Both were always my brother's men, never mine. It is no great loss. Thousands more yet remain, loyal and ready to fight. They shall win the day for us. Just so, your majesty. Remain here. I must go speak with my brother. What is this, brother? You cannot seriously mean for us to war. Whatever grievance you might have with me or the stadtholder, it can be resolved without violence. You are at the precipice, but there is still time to turn back. And what would I be turning back to? Back to living in your shadow. Back to a life of endless service with no reward. If I had my men stand down, the stadtholder would take me back to Marienburg in chains and hang me from the city walls. You know it to be true. I neither can nor want to turn back. If I am to die today, then so be it. At least my life will end on my own terms. I have spoken with Crispin and Gesunda. They tell me the false priest is behind this. The one you told me was dead. He was dead, or at least I thought he was. It matters not either way. It is true he has delivered to me a new path to take, but the decision to walk it is entirely mine. I would ask what you mean, but I'm afraid to hear what you might tell me. Then do not ask, it makes no difference to me. All you need know is that I am king in these lands, and I do not grant you permission to be here. I will offer you this one opportunity to reconsider your trespass. You are at the precipice, but there is still time to turn back. You grieve me, brother. I did not summon you here, and I am giving you the chance to leave without bloodshed. The choice is yours. My choices are already final. Willard van Noort, in the name of Jon van der Kuipers, Stadtholder of Marienburg, I, Erasmus van Noort, Lord Commandant of the Commonwealth, do so name you a traitor, and sentence you to death. I wish you good fortune upon the field. War had come to an end, for now, and the provinces of the Commonwealth could enjoy a period of peace. Aldebrand Ludenhof departed from the Brass Keep, tearing down the monument to chaos behind him as he left, and returned to Hergig. The province of Hochland had endured catastrophic ruin at the hands of the Leech Lord, and much work was needed to rebuild. But the Count of Hochland was determined to see his homeland restored, no matter the expense. Boris Todbringer, the first elected count to pledge himself to Marienburg, could finally see his home province at peace. Soon the beastmen and greenskins that once plagued his lands would be a distant memory, and the people of Middenland could sleep soundly at last. Christian van Noort humbly denied the stadtholder's offer to name him Duke of Nordland, with the position instead being granted to Crispin van Hagen. Christian did, however, take up the offer of the Grand Duke to spend the rest of his days in Middenheim, and the two friends passed the hours hunting game in the Drakwold and reminiscing of past victories. Johann Toppenheimer humbly accepted the stadtholder's offer and claimed the title Duke of Nuln. For now, though, he would return to Fildorf and rest. The Amber Wizard Dolf Hasselhoff was also recognized for his efforts. A new arcane college was commissioned to be built in Nuln, with Dolf Hasselhoff serving as the first Archlector of the Commonwealth. With Crispin now ruling in Nordland, Gesunda Woolrattler established a new dwarven stronghold in the liberated ruins of Karaz Gumzul, and began excavating the mountains for all the treasures they hid. A portion of this new wealth would be directed to Nordland, so they might rebuild their home upon the ruins the Fimir had left behind. Lysette Lyra and David Maycross were handsomely rewarded for their unwavering service to the Lord Commandant. They pooled their newfound riches together and invested in a ship to carry them to Lustria in search of even greater wealth. Lord Stadtholder, we have been unable to locate the false priest. His body was not recovered from the field, and there have been no sightings of him since. Do you think he would be angry with us, Sigmar that is, for having brought low the empire he founded, and ending the line of emperors? The empire was founded to protect mankind. It failed in its only reason to exist. The empire had been brought low long before we ever marshalled our forces. Keep looking for the priest. I should very much like to speak with him. I don't think I've said so yet, but you have my condolences. A traitor though he is, I would not begrudge you mourning the loss of a brother. I will forever mourn his name, but what's done is done. I offered him the chance to cease his insurrection. I almost pleaded with him to do so, and he made his choice. I could do nothing to save him. I do not know what happened to my brother in those final days. What made him make the choices that he did. Perhaps I never will. In fact, I think I would rather remain ignorant. Understandable. For the meantime, you might think of making way to Reichland. The province is yours now. It might be good for you to take a break. Go and spend some time in Altdorf. The Emperor's quarters are yours now. Go, rest, eat and drink, and be as merry as you can. But once you are rested, I would imagine there is much rebuilding to do now the war is over. I imagine so, Lord Stadtholder. Thank you for your generosity. And that's it. That's Dreams of Empire brought to an end. I know this is going to sound really soppy, but I didn't think I would become so emotionally invested in a silly story told through Warhammer games. I did consider extending the campaign, but it was getting to the point where there was just no challenge, and I think it would have ruined the story to keep it going any longer. I didn't want it to become like, a TV show that you really enjoy, but it just keeps getting worse the longer it goes on. And they should have just ended it after a couple of seasons. I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but I started doing this just because I've been thinking about it for a while. And then I had an injury whilst at work and I was housebound for a bit. And it was just something to do to keep me occupied. But I definitely never expected to have, a few hundred people hanging around to see how it plays out. I know a few hundred doesn't seem like a lot when compared to the big channels, but it's absolutely enormous to me. And I can't properly express just how grateful I am that anyone would give me so much of their time. So where do we go from here? I've already mentioned in posts that the Bretonnia campaign is now ready to resume. I'm currently at work on part 3 and I'm looking to upload on Friday. So really looking forward to getting that series back up and running. I didn't intend for there to be this hiatus, but that's just how it turned out. I think running 2 campaigns at once, I underestimated how much extra work it would be. So because of that, going forward, I'm going to solely focus on the Bretonnia campaign for at least the next few weeks. And once we start nearing the end of that, then I will start a 3rd campaign. Also, just wanted to mention, usually when I record audio for these, I sort of try and rein in my accent a bit, and do a bit of it's not received pronunciation, but I try to enunciate a bit clearer. For some reason, during these recordings, I seem to have forgotten on a few occasions, which is why I sound a bit garbled in some of it. I just start stinking the place up with my Leicestershire accent. So apologies if I'm a bit difficult to understand at some points. So to everyone that subscribed, liked the videos, left comments, please know just how thankful I am. It started as a little project because I was bored, and it's something that I've become more invested in than I anticipated. We've only been going now for just over 2 months, and I cannot wait to see where we end up in a year's time. But I'm really excited for the future of the channel, and I hope you will stick with me as we go forward. Thank you.